Greetings, my people. This is middle afternoon breaking news coming from the federal or coming from the Zoological Republic of Nigeria. I say Zoological Republic of Nigeria, why we don't want to release Nnamdi Kanu. That is the news we are getting at the moment. So the endeavor to read into the news to know exactly why and what they said make such comment. We have another one here. Peter Obi reviews plan for IPOB and other agitators. Nnamdi Kanu Council urges US to sanction Buhari, Malami, and all the conspirators to this evil act against Nnamdi Kanu. So let's take it from Peter Obi. Then we will go straight to other news. Please tighten your seatbelt because we are about to fly at a high altitude. This is the middle of the afternoon breaking news. So accept it with every pinch of your heart because we are moving forward. Do not forget that I'm still remain your one and only Okute Daily Talk, where we give you undiluted truths about the government, about Biafran, and about Africa and the country at large. So do not leave. Please listen attentively as we move into the news of the day. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has said he will dialogue with the members of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra and other agitators. Responding to questions on insecurity in the country at a Daily Trust headquarters, Peter Obi stated that dialoguing with agitators will restore peace in the country, according to Peter Obi. While answering questions after his visit to Media Trust, Obi said, "I have said it times without number. Nigeria does not have more agitation than Brazil. If you want, I will show you countries that have had agitations in the past, whether it is Brazil, Mexico, whether it is this. In our southeast, it's a simple thing. I will dialogue, I will discuss. It is a democracy, and in a democracy, you govern by consensus. If anybody says he is not happy, you call him and you sit him down and discuss with him on the issues bordering on the agitations. People agitate in my house, my wife, my children. If you say to me, you have lived with your wife all through and you people have never quarreled, then you are not married. You disagree and settle it. That is the agitation. The presidential candidate vowed to govern by consensus and listen to all for smooth administration of the country. I will govern by listening to the people. I will visit every state in Nigeria. We have a huge land in the north that if properly invested and cultivated will change Nigeria. The more I pull people out of poverty, the more I reduce agitation. The more I reduce criminality. What you are seeing in Nigeria today is a cumulative effect of leadership failure over the years. And all I want to do is to be seen to be that man who changed this country called Nigeria for good, he said. On whether he shares the federal government's position in designating IPOB as a terrorist organization, he said, "I don't want to go into that place. I have told you I will dialogue with anybody. Anything they like, let them call you. I will meet and discuss. I don't like the way people were treated during the EndSARS. I will apologize. We must have a country of healing and love. That is what leadership in a democracy is. I'm going to meet people in the north. I'm going to meet people everywhere and say, come, let's be a family. I want Nigeria to be proud that they are Nigerians. That we have a country called Nigeria, but we don't have Nigerians. I want to bring back that same Nigeria that will work for everyone, both whether you are rich or you are poor. I want to bring back that same Nigeria, that will make people to know that Nigeria is really our country, and we have no other country except this Nigeria. As we proceed to the news, please remember our culture. Subscribe to my channel, like my content, share it, and also comment. That is the only way you can pay me back for bringing to you the news at your doorstep. Federal government are saying why they don't want to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Igbo Monarchs attend session as appeal court resolve ruling to state judgment. Human Rights Association asked Ohaneze to stop begging Buhari over his release. Continual detention affront to Ndi Igbo, say Igbo elders don't miss last opportunity of winning Igbo affection, Buhari told. The Court of Appeal in Abuja yesterday rejected federal government's application for adjournment of hearing relating to the judgment that freed leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, from detention. The court also reserved judgment in an application filed by government. A three-member panel of the Court of Appeal, led by Justice Olodoton Adefope Okojie, had on October 13 dismissed the terrorism and the treasonable felonies charges against Kanu and ordered his release from detention after striking out a 7-count charge remaining from the Federal High Court. Instead of complying with the appellate court decision ordering Kanu's unconditional release, the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, filed an appeal at the Supreme Court in challenging the Court of Appeal's decision. Government applied to the Supreme Court for an order staying the execution of the former decisions. David Kaswe, son, representing the AGF, Abubakar Malami, filed an application for a stay of execution of the Court of Appeal's verdict on the separatist leader. At yesterday's proceedings, Kaswe sought an adjournment for the hearing of the stay of execution application. However, the appellate court panel, led by Justice Haruna Sanami, ordered Kaswe to open arguments in the pending application. Kaswe based his request for an adjournment on the ground that Kanu's lawyer, Mike Ozekome, served with him a counter affidavit to the application last Friday. But Ozekome opposed government lawyer's request for an adjournment. He contended that government was in violation of the Court of Appeal's order of October 13, which ordered Kanu's unconditional release. Explaining why government wanted a stay of execution of the appeal court's judgment, Kaswe argued that the Biafran nation agitator is a huge threat to national security and must be kept in detention to have a relative peace. Besides, government added that Kanu is a flight risk and would escape out of country if the judgment that ordered his release was not stayed. Kaswe insisted that it is in the interest of justice and the need to have relative peace in the southeast and the whole Nigeria that Kanu be made to remain in detention pending the resolution of an appeal already filed at the Supreme Court. Ozekome dismissed the claim that Kanu jumped bail in his trial at the Federal High Court. Ozekome said the military unjustly invaded Kanu's ancestral home and it took God's grace for his client to escape death. The senior lawyer informed the court that the federal government was in contempt of the court by not obeying the October 13 judgment and as such has no moral and legal rights to make the request from the same court. Contrary to government's claim, Ozekome said it is only the release of his client that will ensure peace and tranquility not only in the southeast but the entire country. After listening to the submissions of lawyers, the Court of Appeal reserved the ruling for a later date to be communicated to the parties. 6 Igbo traditional rulers were at the court to witness the hearing yesterday. The monarchs, who were all dressed in their regal attire, said They had to come support and demand Kanu's release. The monarchs include Innocent Nwaigwe, Secretary of Umuahia North Council of Traditional Rulers, Nnamdi Ofegbu, Chairman of Ohuhu Council of Traditional Rulers, Iheani Chukwu Ezigbo, Chairman of Ibeku Council, Philip Ajimiwu, immediate past Chairman, Umuahia North Council, A.D. Ibabuchi, former Chairman, Umuahia North Council, and Ben Uriako of Ikwano Council of all Kanu's home state of Abia State. The Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria on Monday told the hierarchy of the court system that they are destroying the judicial arm of the government by letting the federal government impose the integrity of the court in clear breach of Section 6 of the Nigerian Constitution. The group cautioned the Apex Court and the Appellate Court for even admitting the appeal filed by government, saying the application for stay of execution against a clearly binding verdict is disrespectful. Human Rights Association, in a statement by its national coordinator, Comrade Emmanuel Onwubiko, expressed disappointment that rather than mount pressure on President Muhammadu Buhari to honor his constitutional oath of office and obey a binding judgment of a competent court of jurisdiction, the Apex Igbo cultural groups, Ohaneze, is going cap in and hand to Asorok Villa to beg for political solution as if the cause are no longer relevant. Horewa also captured the hierarchy of the Appellate Court for becoming political by sending on transfer from Abuja the justice that courageously determined the appeal by Kanu and quashed all charges initiated. Then, the Human Rights Writers Association also capped the hierarchy of the Appellate Court by becoming political by sending a transfer from Abuja, so Kiniko initiated by Malami. Human Rights Writers Association recalled that President Muhammadu Buhari had in previous meetings with the delegations of Igbo elders told them that he would not interfere with the judiciary process, urging them to allow the court decide Kanu's fate. Also, an Igbo think tank group under the auspices of United Igbo Elders Forum, he said, the continued detention of Kanu, despite the order of the appeal court for his release, is an insult to Ndi Igbo. The group said for the federal government to ignore the voice of elders, the demand by the United Nations and the judgment of appeal court by going ahead to prolong the case amount to gross disregard for the people. National coordinator of the group, Justice Alpha Ikpama, stated this in Onosha, Anambra State, on Monday, shortly after their emergency meeting, according to a statement. Ikpama said, it has a political undertone. Justice delayed is justice denied. Federal government has only two options to release Kanu. The two options are hinged on the appeal court's verdict or a political solution. The federal government can dialogue with bandits. Why not with Ndi Igbo? Ikpama insisted that the federal government has no option but to release Kanu without further delay. Also commenting on the development, the All Progressive Alliance, APGA, House of Representatives candidate for Arochukwu and Ohafia Federal Constituency in the 2023 election, Dr. Kuji Obinna has pleaded with President Buhari to heed the growing appeals to release Kanu in compliance with the appeal court judgment. Ore said releasing Kanu will greatly help to restore peace in the southeast and make President Buhari a hero of Igbo race. According to him, releasing Kanu is the surest way to guarantee massive participation of the zone in the forthcoming election. The APGA reps hopeful said he was in the race because of the new hope and the confidence in the Electoral Act, which is one of the legacies for which posterity would appreciate President Muhammadu administration. That is what they said about the court sitting, about why they don't want to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. all these the shenanigans, I know it will end soon, because you cannot hold somebody that have not that the court have set free after you refuse to release him based on political solutions. When you were approached by the elders of the land, I mean Igbo elders, you blatantly told them that you allow the court to do their job. Now courts have finalized and said, leave this young man alone. You refused. United Nations, on the other hand, have given you ultimatum, leave this man alone. You refused. Any dog that will die a premature death, death will never allow that dog to smell fracas or fasces before its death. According to Ndi Wase, it is happening, and your people don't want to listen. Beware of what is coming your way. Buhari and Malami, beware of what is coming your way. This is the last warning that your people will receive. Nnamdi Kanu Council ordered US to sanction Buhari and the rest of them that is ganging up against the land. International Council and the spokesman for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they detained the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mr. Bruce Fern, has urged the United Nations of America to impose sanctions against President Muhammadu Buhari and the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, for disobeying the October 13, 2022 Court of Appeal judgment, which discharged and acquitted Kanu. This was even as a federal high court sitting in Abuja yesterday adjourned hearing on the suit filed by the coalition of the northern groups seeking a referendum to determine the fate of Biafra and other self-determination agitations on January 27, 2023. In a petition to the chairman of the U.S. Committee on Foreign Relations, Robert Menendez, Fien urged the committee to make a recommendation to President Joe Biden to impose sanctions against President Buhari and Malami for gross violations and the internationally recognized human rights against Kanu. The petition dated October 20, 2022, which was made available to the Guardian newspaper by Kanu's special counsel, Mr. Lawyer Jimako, accused President Muhammadu Buhari and Malami of kidnapping, torture, and prolonged arbitrary detention of the IPOB leader. The petition, which was copied to 15 other committees of the country, read in part, I would respectfully urge you individually and collectively to recommend to President Joe Biden that he impose sanctions against President Muhammadu Buhari, Attorney General of the Federation, for gross violations of Mr. Kanu's internationally recognized human rights under the Global Magnitsky Human Rights Accountability Act 22 USC 2656. The sanctions should include ineligibility for a visa to enter the United States and blocking off of all transactions in properties of Mr. Buhari and Mr. Malami in the United States. What Nigeria has done to Mr. Kanu is indistinguishable from Russian President Vladimir Putin, Chinese President Xi Jinping, and Saudi Arabian Prime Minister Mohammed bin Salman sending talks abroad to poison, murder, torture, silence, and intimidate dissidents to their dictatorial regimes. They are a threat to international peace and security and subvert the rule-based international order championed by the United States to permit President Buhari's and Attorney General Malami's Togri to escape with impunity would be unacceptable. According to Film, the government is open and notorious lawlessness has been compounded by its equal scorn for an October 13, 2022 decision by the Court of Appeal of Nigeria. Abuja Judiciary Division, holding at Abuja, who among other things held that Nnamdi Kanu's extraordinary rendition from Kenya by the government of Nigeria was illegal and unacceptable. The CNG had in June 2021 dragged the National Assembly and the Attorney General of the Federation to court, asking it to compel the defendants to have the ongoing constitutional review exercise and in each place conduct a referendum to determine what determines Nigeria and who populates it. Justice Inyang Ekwo, who presided over the matter, granted all the motions to allow interested parties to be joined in suit. Counsel to CNG Sofiano Gambo, while speaking with journalists after the adjournment, said the court adjourned to January 27, 2023 to take all the applications that would enable his client to have processes and then respond appropriately. Gambo said, "We amended all processes as directed by the court and as other parties have been joined in the suit. So about 16 parties were added between the last hearing and today. There are a lot of people who have filed applications to be joined, and we are unable to ascertain some of them because we only see them in court introducing their applications to be joined, and because we don't have the process." The spokesperson of CNG, Abdul Aziz Suleiman, in his remarks, lamented that the suit has suffered too many adjournments. His words, "We feel the suit has suffered too many adjournments. It has been dragging for about a year now without a commencement of hearing, but the delays are about process. The suit is developing into an interesting national issue, and we are confident the result will put all agitations to rest." Counsel to Ibom Nation People Movement, Adesina Oke, who applied to join the application, disclosed that the Ibom Nation agitations were also interested in self-determination. He said, "It is important that people express themselves. That is why it is very imperative for all to join this suit. We want to be identified on our own. We were different culture and we are different people. On this part, we led counsel for Igbo Nation, Victor Onwumere Mado, said, when this suit was instituted, I was purely against it from the beginning. The plaintiff asked the 5 eastern states to exit from this country. That is the genesis of this suit. In the last adjournment, Igbo filed application to be joined in the suit, and we are properly joined. One important lesson we should learn from this is that Nigeria is living on the keg of powder, because many Nigerians are not happy. That is why they don't believe in one Nigeria." That is what we have for you this afternoon, and many more are still on the way coming, because we cannot just keep keep our hands closed, knowing fully well that things is spoiling in Biafra land, knowing fully well that the government is not doing what they're supposed to do, knowing fully well that the government have failed Nigerians. Why their agitation is too many is because the government have not done what they're supposed to do to make sure that the citizens feel very okay. Nigeria is only a country that people can come out and tell you boldly, openly, and tell you they are not happy, or they are not, they cannot be proud to say, "I'm a Nigerian." It's only in Nigeria you can say that. Other people can do everything possible to defend the honor of their nation or their country, but in Nigeria, the reverse is the case, because the government have failed in all ramifications. I was growing up, I keep hearing these promises. They campaign with it. We are giving you people good roads, water, pipe-borne water, and electricity. That is the only 3 things they used to campaign for over 60 years now. All those things have not been done. Where have you gone wrong? Where have we gone wrong? That is the question we need to ask all these people that is jumping up and down that they want to rule. If we can be doing it, you have a 4 years tenure. Just tell us one thing you will do in that 4 years. After you accomplish that, then give way for another person to take over. if Nigerians have been doing this for the past 60 years of independence, now Nigeria will have been a better place. Come with one important thing that you can do to the public, not having thousands of manifestos that you can never even accomplish one. Come with one, and if you can complete that in 4 years, then if you want to repeat, then say another thing you accomplish in the next 4 years. People will vote for you. But look at this government. Even when people said we don't want APC again, you are forcing people to believe in APC. I mean, what kind of stupid people do we have in this country? What kind of brainless leader that do we have? Never do well leader that we have in this country, that can never obey even a single rule of law. They don't know how to obey, because none of them have attended to school. Most of them go night school. Only God will help us in this country called Nigeria. My dear people, I think this is where we're signing out on this little brief and this little afternoon breaking news. So until I come your way again, I still remain your one and only Okute Daily Talk. Please don't forget, comment, like, and share. Invite your families and friends so that they will be among these people with moving in the right direction, because we are going to the permanent site, which is Biafra land. Bye for now, my people. Until I come your way again. Kemesiano.